Yo, what's up y'all? Welcome back to a new video. We are back from Germany. I just got back like maybe 3 days ago now. Yeah, my sleep schedule is so fucked. So I'm recording this at like 5:30 a.m. But trying to get back things into it. Germany was so fire. I'll probably have like another video just talking about that, but yeah. This one, you don't get to hear me yap about it. But yeah, essentially, there were some people that were asking for some, I guess, basic cleave drafts for, I guess, champ to emp level. And I was like, okay, I'll probably just like quickly make a guide on that. So I made like 6 like graphs, because I think right now there are probably 6 cleave drafts you can go at the moment, and I will show those right now. So as you can see, I got one for Ran, I got one for Luna, for Ahmed, Zio, Flitty, and Peira. So a lot of these are pretty interchangeable. Like, you can run some of the same follow-ups for Ran and Peira, and Zio even. But I think the only one that's like different from the rest is Flitty and Ahmed for sure. Like, these guys have like their own fucking follow-ups. But anyways, yeah, we'll just quickly go over I made these in like 5 minutes, so like, yeah, it's not that much effort, but it's just a basic rundown of how you should draft for certain archetypes of cleave. And so we'll go over the Ran, we'll just go them in order. So yeah, the Ran cleave one, obviously this is the one I'm probably most familiar with. You can probably see a bunch of these where I have like 3rd pick Ran. Oh, where are my Ran games? What the fuck? Okay, but that's not 3rd pick Ran. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me let me find some real fast. Where's my Ran games? Why am I 2nd picking Ran? Hello? What's going on? Oh, okay, here we go. So here's one where, yeah, as you can see, Haste, Genoa, Ran, Jacko, and Politis. And as you can see on the other one, on the graph, you can see, yeah, there's Haste, Genoa, Ran, Jacko. I last picked Politis, but yeah. Let me see if I can find another one here. So yeah, here's another one where we have Haste, Knockhole, Ran, Rowana, Iwig. Like, usually I would take Genoa here, but for some reason I just took Knockhole because I just felt a little bit more confident doing that. So a lot of these are pretty interchangeable. Like, these aren't like hard set in stone rules, but it's just a nice guideline to help you climb. Here's another one, right? So Haste, Politis, Ran, and then Ada and Lionheart. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the Ran cleave style. So anyways, essentially how the Ran cleave works is you want to first pick your anchor. Now I don't have Senya, so I can't do it, but I'm not really a fan of Senya for Ran anchoring. I think she's better for Peira anchoring. So more like realistically, like, I'll rather prioritize the Haste first. So if Haste is available, you can first pick Haste if you're Ran cleaving. And then from there, they'd probably take like DDR or Laya or Senya or Albedo or something. I don't know. 2nd pick, I usually take Genoa or Politis, depending on which one's available. If they haven't already taken Genoa, or like if their team is going to be really tanky. Sometimes I take Eternal Wanderer Ludwig 2nd, if I'm 1st pick. So that way I can slam my Ran at the same time. I don't really like taking Ilwig 2nd pick if I'm 2nd pick. That was a weird sentence. Because if you take Eternal 2nd, then if they slam Ran on you, then all of a sudden your Ilwig is a dead pick. Like, you have to pick something else to address the Ran. And then your Ludwig's just fodder at that point. So I only like taking Eternal on the 2nd pick if I'm 1st pick. So yeah, usually though it's Haste, Genoa, Ran, and then from there your last picks are pretty dependent on their enemy team. This is where your matchup knowledge comes into play, where you have to pick the units that are good into their matchups. Like, for example, if they take stuff like AOL, Elena, Sage Ball, right? Then you could take Requiem Rana. She destroys all that. But if they take stuff like Landy, Albedo, haste, right? If they take the haste from you, then you could take stuff like Astromancer. if they pick stuff like Edward Elric, maybe Blue Ram, or like Aiden, for example, then you can take Lionheart Sermia. Like, it's all really dependent on the matchup. So you just gotta, this is mainly like experience, where you learn which unit is the best for which scenario. If they're sort of drafting like an aggro style where they have like, I mean, no one picks Stenny anymore, but like Stenny, or they have Karina, or like units that are weak to control, right? Then you can pick Blooming here, you can take Summertime, you can take Ada. It's really, like, it really depends, you know? So, yeah, Rank Cleave is really strong at the moment, I feel like. So, maybe you can think of your own draft if you have some of these units built. And I'll show you my builds too for each of these. Since I have most of these guys built, so yeah, let me show you that. So here's my Lionheart. You definitely want to cleave Lionheart if you're playing Rank Cleave, right? You want this to cut in front and then just blow up their Ed, or blow up their Albedo, or Laya, or whatever they pick. Around 250 speed is pretty good, and 2k defense is pretty much a requirement because she scales off defense, right? And then Portrait, I like running Portrait for sure. It's more damage than Golden Rose, so I like that. And then I have around 290 crit damage, so not bad build. Her HP doesn't really matter because she's not going to die to 1 counter, even 2 because of her high defense. So you don't have to worry about like Edward and Aiden counterattack like blowing you up or something like that. You'll be chilling. For Ada, excuse me, I caught a bit of a sickness while I was there. It was pretty awful. But anyways, yeah, 257 speed. My crit chance is a bit low, but my Ada is meant for effectiveness and damage at the same time, rather than pure damage, which I don't think is good anymore, just because a lot of stuff is really tanky. So it's better to go like the control route. So yeah, around this speed for sure, 250 to 260 speed, depending on your Rand speed. This like barely is like, I think, right above my Rand, because my Rand is 312 right now. He's pretty slow. So this speed works out fine for me. And then yeah, around 80 effectiveness if you can, 80 to 100 effectiveness, just so you can tag the 100 ER units for free, like Karina, Scarwell, all the knights, I guess, pretty much. So yeah, Summertime Izaria, here's what I'm running, right? 273, this, you need this speed for Caesarea just because she doesn't push 20%, she pushes 15, which means she needs to be a little bit faster than your Ada and your Lionheart. So maybe around 270, and then I'm running an attack build instead of an effectiveness build, just because I like the damage on her bombs more than actually landing them, at least for me. Her bulk doesn't matter because you're not going to be driving this into Celine anyways, and even if you do have bulk, Celine is still just going to destroy you with one S2, right? So there's no point. So just go for as much damage and effectiveness and speed as possible, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah. Requiem Roana, here's one I'm running. Now, you want to have as much effectiveness as possible, right? 300 really is like the limit, like the benchmark for Roanas, because that's enough to start tagging stuff like Bastion Sage Balls, Bastion Acades, like Christie teams, right? Having this much effectiveness. And having this effectiveness to reset those key units that can potentially 1v4 your Cleave team is really important. And I have like some bulk, but this bulk is just like, it just happened to be there. I didn't really like search for it. I was mainly just searching for effectiveness and attack. So I have some attack to like essentially help out with the damage, because she pens defense, right? And then her S1 actually does a pretty decent amount of damage. If you're rank cleaving, I do like this effectiveness build. If you're peira cleaving, another build you can do is going like triple torrent or attack set torrent, and then just going like full attack with like pretty much 0 effectiveness, but you're just stacking as much attack as possible. So when you S3, it does like 10k like true damage pretty much. That's a pretty good build too. But I feel like for Ran, this is a little bit better for me. So yeah, effectiveness ring, and then yeah. I do have some ER. This is to help with Edward Elric when I Soulburn ran, right? And then Edward S2s. It's so I don't get provoked. And same thing with like Karina's, where Karina's like hit my Rowana. I don't get like defense broken and stuff on like counterattack, so that's pretty useful too. But yeah, pretty standard Rowana build, I'd say. Obviously speed doesn't matter because she doesn't, like, that's just a useless stat on her, so don't worry about that. Here's my blooming. So yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a long video, by the way. Like, I'll put timestamps in the description if you just want to go through like each of the teams. So yeah, don't feel like you have to watch the whole thing, obviously. Here's my blooming, 23k 270 speed with 118 effectiveness. You know, just standard. I like around the 270 speed, so she can naturally cut stuff with the speed manipulation on her S2, or she gains more speed, or yeah, she gains more speed proportional to the number of debuffs inflicted. So she's really strong with Ran. I mean, yeah, and then her S3 can one-shot candies and Euphines, anything that's like a bruiser. So anything under like 19k HP, she could probably one-shot. Astromancer is here. She is pretty high damage on Torrent. I mean, she cuts 40 CR, right? You definitely want the Unseen Observer, and you want this. So her speed is like, it doesn't really matter too much because she cuts 40 CR. So I'm running attack percent boots to help her damage a little bit more. And yeah, this build is pretty strong for me. Again, you just pick her against all the counterattackers, and it's pretty much a force fan. Jacko, here is what I'm rocking with. Pretty high damage, I think. I wish I was 4k and 320, but it's kind of hard to hit those stats with the speed. But it's enough for me. She can one-shot Lias without mitigation from full health, which is pretty insane. It's like 30k. And her S1 hurts like a truck too, so yeah. So I think that's all my follow-ups for Ran. We can go back to the graph now. For pre-bans, I like pre-banning Zeo Bellion, but you can pre-ban the other three too. I just don't really like it because for Zeo, it's just a straight-up hard counter, and for Bellion, if there's Bellion, then you can't Soulburn Ran, which really get most of the values. So most of the time, I like just pre-banning Zeo Bellion. Okay, next team. We'll talk about Luna. This one's really hard to get away with because she's pre-banned so much because she's fucking broken, right? You can't even like best case scenario is if you're able to third pick Luna and ban protector, but the chance of that happening is so low because they're probably gonna steal Luna from you before you can even do that, or she's just pre-banned. So you have to first pick Luna, otherwise they're gonna take Luna. It's just how it is in this current meta. She's just the best unit in the game by far. So you take Luna, and then second pick you can either take Ran, Peira, or Knuckle. I like taking Ran. I like doing the Luna Ran Cleave. So the drafts are pretty similar to this. It's just you don't really have an anchor because you don't need one because of Luna, right? So you run these two, and then third pick, I love picking Eternal on the third slot or Politis, depending on their team. If they like second pick Abyssal Euphine or Acades or like some sort of CR cutter, then I like taking Politis third. Anything else, I just take Eternal third, and I take Politis later in the draft, or Rowana, because Politis Rowana deals with all of Luna's counters, like Acades, Sage Ball, DJB, etc. Right? Anything that's like designed to cut you, Elena too. So yeah, and then obviously her follow-ups are a bit different than Ran, where she can only have follow-ups that rely on non-attack skill push-ups. So stuff like Ada, Ezra, and I mean Rowana obviously doesn't need like a push-up, but yeah, these two, and then Eternal, and then Rowana. Astromancer and Lionheart are nice for if they pick counterattackers, and against teams that you predict they're gonna ban Luna. So you can take these two. Like if they take Ed, right? If they take Ed, then you know they're gonna ban Luna, because I mean you have to, because he's a passive unit, right? So you can predict that and just take the Lionheart plus Ada, for example, against Edward Elric. If not, then you can just go like Ezra. Ezra's not even that bad with Luna, because since she already has 2 debuffs guaranteed on everybody, then Ezra just goes and then lands 3 more, and then it's like what, like 10k fixed damage. So he just one shots a lot of squishy units like Celine, low HP Landies, Karinas, etc. Right? And I will show you my Ezra build for this one and my Luna build. I mean, you already seen it if you watch my videos, so it's nothing's really changed, I guess. But I'll show it anyway. So, yeah, here's my Luna. I've been debating about reducing her speed for an HP ring, so just that way I can one-shot imprint. But this speed is really nice. I don't know. We'll see. I might switch it over later. But yeah, there's my Luna. And here's my Ezra, right? 286. He doesn't need to be this fast. He just needs to be like 270. I only have this speed. Actually, I don't know why I had this speed, because Newman Luna cuts, like, the passive for Politis and Abyssal Yuffie, they don't even proc. I think I had this much speed so I can cut, like, Cadizes and stuff on Soul Constellation, but I don't even know if this is enough speed. So I don't know why I have this much speed, but you don't need this much speed. Like, 270 is good enough. And then you just stack as much effectiveness as possible, which is what I did. And I'm running Alabastrin to help out with some more effectiveness, so this can tag a lot of like high ER stuff maybe. And yeah, that's just, you just do this, and then if you land 3, then yeah, it's pretty much so much fixed damage. And this is where he gets the CR, so. Oh yeah, if you do this, make sure you put Luna in the front, right? Because he only gets to push up if Luna's in the front, so just be careful. Alright, I think that's Luna's section done. Let's go on to the next one. Ahmed. Now, Ahmed Cleave is pretty hard to get away with in high levels of play, just because she has so many counters. But for like champ, like maybe low emp and below, I think Ahmed Cleave still works. I mean, I was getting away with Ahmed in the preliminary games, so she still has a place. But ever since Newman Luna came out, like, it's just so hard to speed contest like all these different openers, so your Ahmed has to be like ridiculously fast. But if you were to Ahmed Cleave, I would recommend pre-banning Abyssal and Zeo. Just because Politis is a pretty good follow with Ahmed herself, and this Ahmed's biggest counter, honestly. And for Moon Bunny, you can take Briar Witch, like a fast Briar Witch, to get rid of the immunity and skill null that Moon Bunny places. But up to you. You can play around with any of these 4 pre-bans, but I think these are definitely Abyssal or Ahmed's biggest counters for sure. But for me, if I'm Ahmed cleaving, I like first picking Politis. Second pick, I like taking Sid, Janua, or Briar. Usually it's Briar, like it should be like this. Just because it is an anticipation of Moon Bunny, right? If they pick Moon Bunny, then what I can do is, on these last picks, all these units are really slow, right? So even if I S2, S3 them, let's say I S2, S3 a BBK, because she's so slow and she's speed tuned perfectly to my Ahmed, the Briar Witch will still cut in front. And then essentially all I have to do is just Soulburn Briar, or just, I don't know, it doesn't matter, regularly S3 Briar, get rid of all that shit, and then BBK goes and it just wipes the whole team. Even though they had Moon Bunny, which is really nice. And most Moon Bunnies are on Doctor's Back and non-Soul Constellation, so you don't have to worry about them cutting or anything. And even if they do cut, you have Politis to cut that in half, so they can't even cut all the way. But yeah, usually I take only from this pool here. I don't think I ever branch out of these two, because these are all just really good Ahmed follow-ups. I'll show my build for each one of them. So my Politis, right? If you want to see my Politis, here's what I'm rocking with. Pretty high damage, not on Torrent, unfortunately. If I could run on Torrent, I would. I just don't have the gear at the moment, but eventually I'll have her on Torrent. Yeah, some effectiveness is nice too, to help tag some low ER stuff. I haven't shown my Janua yet, huh? Here's my Janua. Regular Janua build. Oh, I didn't show my haste either. Here's my haste. He's on speed build on Water's Origin, so if he gets counterattacked and gets proc, he'll push all the way to the front and then just get to S3 for free, so yeah. Here's my Sid. DPS Sid. He does a lot. Now we'll go through Ahmed's follow-ups now. So here's Briar. Here's the first one. I have the speedy now, so this is really useful to help with my tuning. But yeah, it's like crazy damage Briar. Some effectiveness too. I think this might be like my highest gear score unit, but yeah. Martial Artist Ken. This is for Navy Captain only, and that's pretty much it. Or like Senya, I guess, or Shu. Anything that has like anti-crit, then you just pick this. And it's pretty nice. Again, their speed tuning is really low because they're meant to proc off of Ahmed and only Ahmed. Maybe Flan too. Here's my says, right? Hella attack, some crit damage. You just want to get as much, like I have triple attack on the right side. Just so if he's soul burn, he can like one shot anything that's like under 40k HP pretty much. So pretty much anything in the game he can one shot. Like I think I soul burned Hayumi's Senya, or was it Kestra? I said I don't remember. It's one of them, and then it did like 35k and like one shot it through mid, which is kind of crazy. But yeah. Here's my Kisei. She is a bit faster. I only pick Kisei if they take like Rimuru and stuff, or like they don't have Moon Bunny where I can just make use of this. Like Bellion too. If they take Bellion, I like taking Kisei because she doesn't need to Soulburn to make use of the S3 S2 combo, unlike Ludwig. But yeah, Kisei's pretty good too. Here's BBK. This build's not, oh god, my voice. This build's not bad too, just because with this destruction and attack percent necklace, like if she gets the crit damage buff, she'll like blow up the enemy team, so that's nice. Here's my Ludwig. Yeah, sorry, I'm like really sick right now, so crit chances cope, but don't worry about it. Like I only pick him like one game every like 50 games I play with Ahmed anyway, so yeah, 5k attack, almost 300 crit damage, and then speed torrent, and then he cuts, does his job, blah blah blah. Straze, I mean, I don't really pick him with Ahmed, but if they have units I think they can cut my CR, then I would take Straze. Just because if they have like, I don't know, like Abyssal, right? And then I need a way to like push up my team, even with the 50% CR cut, then I'll take something like Straze. Because Straze will still cut up all the way to the front, even if they have Abyssal, because of his speed. And then he'll just one-shot something. And Vildred, kind of a bad build, because I kind of nerfed him, but yeah, his damage is not that good, like, for this build. He needs to be like these stats with Torrent, but eventually, right? And yeah, I think that's all of the Ahmed follow-ups. Yeah, just make sure your Ahmed is like... Oh, I didn't even show my Ahmed. What am I doing? Or my Ran. Oh, fuck. Let me do that real fast. Here's my Ran build. 312, like I mentioned. Not that good, but... I mean, it's kind of slow. But his damage is good, though. And here's my Ahmed. Her speed got nerfed for Luna, but 295 is, like, okay, I guess. So... yeah. Okay unit at best. Now let's talk about Zeo Cleaving. Zeo Cleaving is still really good. It's just a bit harder to get away with than just third pick Ran Cleaving. Just because Zeo, he struggles versus takedown teams and Sage Ball and like teams that like cut CR. Or like push up every turn, right? So like Akades and Sage Ball. But if you're gonna Zeo Cleave, make sure your Zeo is like around 260, 270 for like a higher rank. Yeah, Zeo Ran, and then this is probably the best Zeo combo you can do. Zeo Ran, Zeo Peira is okay, but Zeo Ran just feels better. Third pick, I like picking Ludwig here on the third slot because he's like the best cleave DPS in my opinion. If you don't have him and you're a cleaver, definitely pull him up from the custom mystic summon that's coming out. He will definitely carry your games to way higher ranks for sure. He's really strong. And then Roana, Blitty, Pavel is really good with Zeo Ran cleaving. Right? Just because Zeo Ran cleave, they don't rely on an anchor, So you just go full cleave, and then Commander Pavel, like, he'll destroy takedown teams with this. Summer Break's not bad if they're trying to Zeo trap you. Same with Caesarea, which is not on here, but I should probably have it on here. Rowana, Politis, you know, the same. Lionheart Sermia for Anchor. And the pre-bans, I like just pre-banning Senya and Bellion. Senya is just really obnoxious to deal with if you're Zeo cleaving. Because you don't have an Anchor, right? So if you don't kill the Senya in one rotation, the Senya's going to blow up your whole team back. Which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I'll show my builds for this too. Here is my Zeo. Right, 264 speed. This cuts, I think, 330, I believe. So unless they're 330 speed, you should be fine. And I have an effectiveness build just because you need to be able to tag stuff like Elena and Moon Bunny and stuff like that with Zeo, because those units are really annoying. But you can't tag stuff like Sage Ball and Lidica. I already showed you my Rand build. Let me show you my Peira build. Yeah, my Peira is not that good. She's on crit chance, so she can activate C Pavel. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so only pick Peira of Rand's pre-band. Here's my Eternal. This is probably my best geared DPS. He's like, his stats were pretty insane. Even though he only has 97.8 crit chance, just ignore it. And just look at his damage and speed instead. So yeah, pretty high attack, pretty high crit damage, and pretty high speed too. So yeah, definitely give him your best gear and he'll win you games. C Pavel, again, he just needs to be like 160-ish speed. 157 is fine too. 5k 350 on Torrent set, and then you're chilling. He'll do his job. And then I have him on Dux Noctis, obviously, so he does more damage. Yeah. I already showed you Jacko. Sharklot. Let's show you Sharklot. Here's my Sharklot. This cuts my Zeo, essentially. Like, because she pushes up, like, what, 25? And then breaks Artifact to help with evasion, like Aiden. It's like his anti-Zeo trap Sharklot, pretty much. And then she S1s twice, then yeah, everything just dies. I already showed you the other builds, so yeah. I think that's the section done for Zeo Cleave. On to the next one. Flitty. Now, Flitty Cleave is pretty hard to get away with unless your speed gear is like crazy good. Her base speed is a little bit too low to consistently contest. But, I mean, if your speed gear is cracked, then yeah, you can get away with it. Some people still use Flitty, so... Essentially, all it is you first pick Flitty, you don't third pick it. I mean, you can, but... it doesn't really feel that safe, because... It doesn't feel safe first picking Veronica, not gonna lie. Or, like, Green Sid. It feels a bit weird. So, I like first picking Flit. And the second pick should be your fire unit. So between Veronica and Nockwall and Shuri, I like doing Veronica and Nockwall the most. But if you have Shuri, you can do Shuri too. Just make sure they're all fast. Like, I'll show you their builds after. And then third pick, this should be your green unit, where it could be anything from Sid, Zahog, Gala, Laya, or Landy. Sid if they're picking an opener, right? So that way you can have two imprints and contest with their Flitty. Zahog if they pick evasion early. Gala if they're tanking up. Laya if they're also tanking up, but you don't feel confident with Gala. Landy if they take Zeo, because it gives you a guiding light, right? So if you take Flitty, Veronica, and Landy, then you can go into a Zeo trap. Now, last picks, these are like your main follow-ups. It's mainly going to be DDR and Famir. At times, you could pick C Pavel too. If they're picking a lot of stuff like Dragon King Sharoon or like Rimuru, and then Commander Pavel can just wipe it. And then the last are anchor picks. Or I guess this is not really anchor. Summertime Azaria is if DDR is pre-banned. Like, she can act as a substitute. Yeah, so these two are anchors that can just tank up a Flitty Cleave team and help you out. And then these are my pre-bans, Navy Captain, Euphine. I feel like you have to do those, otherwise you're gonna have a pretty bad time. So yeah. Let's show you the Flitty Cleave. Yeah, essentially how this draft works is you just... I mean, my Flitty's dead. She used to be like 295, but I stripped her. All you have to do is just, like, trigger your DDR or Famir to sleep, and then it's pretty much GG. So, yeah, Guiding Light for sure. Bulk doesn't really matter. Just high speed, which I can't really get at the moment, but pretend this is like 297. Pretend she has like 20 more speed. Oh wait, I just realized I wasn't even showing you. My bad, my bad. My bad. Yeah. So yeah, here's my Flitty again. It's just lots of speed and like yeah, just again, pretend she's 300. Veronica, right? She should be around 290 speed, but again, I stripped her because I'm not Flitty cleaving right now. On Guiding Light as well. I like going attack ring just because it helps you kill stuff. Like any one thing with a defense break, right? Which is pretty nice. And here's my Knockwall. She's on Candle just to help me with Cleave. She lands defense break, that's huge for me, so that's quite nice. And then here's my shirt. I mean, you can't pick this Sherry for Flitty Cleave, it has to be like a speed Sherry, but mine's just on a damage build for racing. I already showed you my Sid, let's show you the Zahak. I mean, no one really picks Zahak anymore, but you can pick it in Flitty Cleave, it's not bad. Yeah, so there's Zahak. Here's my Gala, like Omega damage. You can pretty much one-shot anything, I think, with this build. Especially with Portrait. Here's Laya. This is like a late win con for Flitty Cleave as well. Yeah, nothing crazy. Just a standard Laya. And then here's my Landy on Guiding Light to help against Zeo teams. Right. And then last picks, here's my DDR. If you're Flitty cleaving, your DDR should be full effectiveness like this. That way you can tag stuff like Destinas as well. Like any high ER like Elena, Christy, stuff that they try to pick into you to try to resist. But even with this, I get more effectiveness, right? So this is like 240 pretty much. So pretty much nothing can resist. And then some bulk, right? And some speed. This should be in tune with your Famir. And what I mean by that is he should be a little bit slower than your Famir. Just because you want your Famir to go first in case they both get through. Just because if Famir gets to sleep, you can just S2 with DDR. Right. You're not forced to S3 if Famir sleeps everything. But if let's say your DDR goes first, then if you press S3, S2, then your Famir is gonna waste her S3 on already slept targets. So it ends up being a little bit of a waste, if you know what I mean. But yeah, both also, they're really high effectiveness, 240 as well. Some bulk. And yeah, if she gets to sleep the whole... If she procs this S2 and this lands on everybody, it's just GG, like straight up. Because like... Sleep defense break is so broken. And full strip too, it's not okay. Here's my Dark Corvus. Don't really pick him often just because he's not really that good of an anchor unless you're Flitty cleaving, just because there's so much damage in the moment. But yeah, even this Decro build is not that good, but it sometimes gets the job done, I guess. Sometimes. Sometimes. And then here's my Arya. Arya's a pretty niche anchor just because she's a lot harder to get away with if they have Laya, but yeah, Bastion to help with the FRES. I'm running the focus one just so I can like immediately proc this at the beginning of the battle. Like after I just attack once and it's pretty much GG. So yeah. Around 2k defense, right? Just so she can survive around this ER. Alright, let's do the last one. I think my voice is starting to die, so this will definitely be the last one. For Peira, your first pick should be Senya, I think, rather than Haste. Senya is she's more synergistic with Peira with her escort, so it helps Senya survive. It's more of like an aggro team rather than a full cleave team. So I like picking Senya, or if I had a Senya, I would pick Senya with Peira if you had it. Second pick, I like going Laya, Haste, or Celine. It depends on what they're drafting. Like if they take like DDR, then you can take like Celine. But if they leave DDR open, you can also take DDR here too. So any of these four are pretty good with Peira, right? And then your third pick Peira here. And then last picks, usually it's Requiem, Moana, and Ada. Just because people love slamming Moon Bunny into Peira. But the thing is, if you have Requiem, Moana, and Ada, then you don't really care about Moon Bunny. Same with Jacko. Like, if they have only one DPS, like let's say, I don't know, like fucking, let's say they have like a DDR as like their only quote-unquote DPS, right? You can just Soul Burn Peira, get a stun on DDR, and then Jacko can just one-shot it with their S3, and then you pretty much win. Even if they have like Moon Bunny, right? Because like, yeah, they'll get the skill null after Jacko kills, but if you kill the main threat, then like, okay, who cares, right? Like, it's pretty much GG from there. Blooming's not bad with Peira too, just because her S2 and her S1 are pretty good. Commander Pavel is good if you can manage to build up a crit Peira. So that's another one. Biblis is nice for counterattackers, like Drink Biblis. It's a not bad option for like Aidens and Candies. It's a lot of splash damage because she procs it twice. Like, she procs her S2, S3, S2 again. If she procs another counter with her S2, which is pretty nasty. It's a lot of fixed damage. So I'll show you those builds now. And then obviously prevents Zeo, Luna, Ran, Abyssal. Honestly, any of these four are fine, but maybe Zeo and Luna are the best ones in my opinion, just because those units are kind of broken. But yeah. Let's show some stats. Yeah. So here's my Celine. High damage Celine. Just this unit is so strong with if she manages to get an S2, S3 off, it's so much value. So yeah, Celine feels pretty good with Peira, I think. Try to get around this damage with, I mean, you can lower the speed if you have to, but the speed boots are nice, so I like it like this. And I already showed DDR, I showed Peira, I showed Ada, Jacko, Blooming. I didn't show Biblis, I showed Biblis, so. Yeah, 250 speed, because she cuts 20 CR, right? So you want around 250 speed. 4k attack, because she's on attack percent, and speed. Some effectiveness, just to help land debuffs. And I'm on Rengar's special drink, just so, yeah, it gets a lot of bonus damage stacked on top of it. Preferably you want around 100 effectiveness, but obviously I don't have that. So, yeah, I can't relate. I mean, maybe I can like solve something like this. Let's see what I got. Don't think it's happening. I mean, that's okay, right? This is like okay too, but I don't have enough speed if I do this. Oh, this has 0 speed. Okay, give me a second. Let me cook for a second. Let me cook. Why does it have 18 speed? What the hell? Okay. Do I have anything like this? Oh, I do. Look at this. Look at this build now. Isn't this build pretty good? And then I can like do this. And get rid of like... It doesn't seem that good, not gonna lie. A little bit more speed, maybe. Why is that 19 speed? What the fuck? But yeah, I mean, this is not bad. So, yeah, I mean, let's just change that. So this is probably a better build for Biblis. But yeah, that's essentially the peira draft, and I think I went over all of them. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll definitely try to answer them as much as I can, and hopefully you can start drafting a little bit easier with these guidelines. I mean, literally, you just follow like a... You're just following like a fucking formula. I forgot what the word is. Flowchart, my bad. You're just following a flowchart, so yeah. And then you should notice yourself getting a lot more wins. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for my voice dying at the end. Yeah, I'm getting sick, but yeah, anyways, see y'all.